Handicapper Steve here, handicapping the racing from Turfway Park here on Saturday. It is the 2nd of April, 2022. Gonna look at the stakes races on the program from Turfway, but before I get on to that, remember to please follow me on Twitter at HorseRacingKid5 for more selections from race courses around the world. It's Jeff Ruby Stakes Day, so we're gonna look at all the stakes races 7 through 12. There's a mandatory pick six payout, so it connects all these races. So let's get to it right now. The 7th race from Turfway, it's the Latonia Stakes. It's going for a purse of $200,000. Race for fillies and mares, 4-year-olds and upwards. We have a field of 7 horses going to the main track. The distance of ground of 1,700 meters, or the distance of ground of 1 mile and 1/16 on the Turfway Tapeta surface. 1,700 meters, a mile 1/16. My top selection here, I'm going to go take the number 1 horse, who is Crazy Beautiful. We'll go 1746 in the superfecta. 1746 super. Top selection, 1 horse, Crazy Beautiful. 4-year filly by Liam's Map. Kenneth McPeak trains. Brian Hernandez Jr. gets the mount. The horse's most recent outing came 26th of February at Gulfstream, mile 16th in the Grade 3 Royal Delta. First time facing older horses. The horse finished 4th by 4 1/4 lengths there. Was just a little bit too wide throughout and could never get the good turn of foot. It just wasn't this horse's day to win off the bench. Coming to Turfway to the Tapeta for the first time shouldn't be a problem. Has some decent turf pedigree. Could be forwardly paced. I think this horse could go a long way and improve off that last race. 2 back, the horse ran the 26th of November here in New York at Aqueduct. A mile and 8th in the Grade 3 Commonly, and the horse finished 3rd by 3 3/4 lengths there, and forgot that was on. Excuse me. And he finished 3rd by 3 3/4 lengths in the Commonly that day, and just didn't break that well. Was wide throughout, and just a very lackadaisical run. But before that, in the Valley View of Keeneland, a mile 16th on a yielding turf course in late October, the horse finished 2nd by length, stalked all the way around, just couldn't get there late, but showed potential. If that horse runs this race today, is going to win this by a mile. He's training well down in South Florida, has some early pace, and I think this horse can get the job done. You know, she's a decent horse. She actually won the Summertime Oaks at Santa Anita and went on to win the Delaware Oaks after that, and then ran a little bit disappointing in the Alabama. Well, you know, she got beat by Mouth Out, who's a very good horse that day. But coming here today, I think at 5-2, very loaded, definitely use. And we're going to single her off to start this pick six, by the way. So to recount my selection for the 7 from Turfway, it's the Latonia Stakes. Let's take the 1 horse, Crazy Beautiful. 1746 for me in the super. Single the 1 to start off the pick six. The 8th race from Turfway, it is the Rushaway Stakes. It's going for a purse of $200,000. Race for 3-year-olds here. We have a field of 14 horses entered, but only 12 could go to the all-weather. The distance of ground of 1,700 meters, or the distance of ground of mile 1/16 on the Turfway main track. 1,700 meters, a mile 1/16 here in the Rushaway. My top selection, we're going to go take the number 5 horse, who is Tommy B. 5-12-1-3 for me in the super. 5-12-1-3 super. Top selection of 5 horse, Tommy B. 3-year Coleman Medaglia d'Oro. Brad Cox trains. Manny Franco gets the mount. The horse's most recent outing came the 5th of March at Fairgrounds, about a mile 16th on the lawn in the black gold, and the horse finished 2nd by 5 lengths. Just kind of stalked all the way around the race course, but could just never get the good turn of foot. It just wasn't a day to win. Maybe wants a little bit longer, maybe wants a better pace in front. Coming here today to the Tapeta shouldn't be a problem. Has really, you know, I think this is the proper group for this horse, and the buyer numbers could really keep up with these horses, and I think the horse could run a good race. 2 back, they're in the horse in the dirt at the Fairgrounds, mile 16th and optional 50, winning by 7.5 lengths from a stalking position. When this horse got the lead around the far turn, this horse just took off clear. An all-around great race, 2nd off the bench. First off the bench on the 4th of December at the Fairgrounds, mile 16th and optional 50. The horse finished 2nd by 5.5 lengths there and just really couldn't get there late. You know, maybe needed the race there, but broke the main before that on the wider at Belmont and a main 50,000. Winning ahead that day, coming from the mid-pack. A really, really good time, perfect ride by Franco. Franco comes in for the ride today, which I think is a good thing. Training well, 7-2, we have to use this horse. Don't throw out the 12 horse here, a race. Most recently in the Battaglia Memorial, the horse just had a little bit of a trouble trip, couldn't keep up late, but if the horse could run the race before that, like she did here at Turfway in January, could definitely win against these horses. At 3-1, I definitely use in the multi-race, and the 1 horse Grail, I think is your 3rd likeliest winner. I definitely don't use in the multi-race ticket. Was just drawn very too wide in the Battaglia Memorial. Coming here with a better post 2nd off the bench, he should really pounce also. But to recount my selection for the 8th from Turfway, it is the Rushaway. Let's take the 5 horse Tommy B. Give kudos to the 12 horse race and the 1 horse Grail. 5-12-1-3 super, 5-12-1 in your multi-race. The 9th race from Turfway, it is the Animal Kingdom Stakes. It's going for a purse of $200,000. Races for 3-year-olds here. We have a field of 8 horses sprinting the distance of ground here. 1,200 meters, or the distance of ground of 6 furlongs on the Turfway main track. 1,200 meters, 6 furlongs here in the Animal Kingdom. My top selection, we're going to go take the number 7 horse, Rotney. We'll go 7-1-4-2 in the superfecta, 7-1-4-2 super. Top selection, 7 horse, Rotney. 3-year-old called by Run Happy. Mike Maker trains. Manny Franco gets the mount. The horse's most recent outing came the 13th of March at Aqueduct, 7 furlongs in the Damon Runyon. And the horse went by 2 3/4 lengths and basically on the front and all throughout. They never got to the bottom of the horse. That was a very good, easy run. Coming here to the Tapeta, has a fairly pace. I think this horse really won a good race. Keep in mind, it wasn't the Tapeta back then, but his sire, Run Happy, broke the maiden here in 2014, or not broke the maiden, put on a show here in the end of 2014, going 3 quarters here, and went on to have a great 2015 campaign where he was champion sprinter. So that's just one of those keeping an eyes out, factor with this horse, excuse me. 2 back, the horse ran optional 80 at Aqueduct, 6 furlongs, 11th of February. First off the long refreshing, the horse went by 3 lengths, and again on the front and all throughout. This horse is 100% cranked, quickened up nicely, a very good race off the bench. And then prior to that, the 1st of August, Saratoga, 6 furlongs in main special weight. The horse went by 1.5 lengths, and against those state breds, this horse just kept going. Has really been improving with every single race. Coming here facing these sprinters shouldn't be a problem. I like how they got the horse a workout over the track already earlier this week. At 3-1, I'm going to take this horse. If there could be a little bit of an upset, the 1 horse Nobles, I think is your second likeliest winner. Most recently, won the Turfway preview in January, very, very nicely, cutting back and trip. They tried the horse at a rounding trip, which I thought was just not to his liking. When they cut him back, I think that's where he got better. At 3-1, we're definitely going to use this horse back to sprinting again on the ticket. But to recap my selection for the 9th from Turfway, it is the Animal Kingdom. Let's take the 7 horse Rodney as a top selection. Give kudos to the 1 horse Nobles. 7-1-4-2 super, 7-1 in your multi-race. The 10th race from Turfway. It's a race very rich in history. It is the Kentucky Cup Classic. It's going for a purse of $250,000. Race for 4-year-olds and upwards. We have 14 horses entered, but keep in mind, only 12 could go the distance of ground here of 1,800 meters, or the distance of ground of 1 1/8 on the Turfway main track. 1,800 meters, 1 1/8 here in the Kentucky Cup Classic. And something I've noticed in the past, this meeting at Turfway since December when it opened up, they've run quite a few 1.25-mile races, and the most I've ever seen at Turfway. And a lot of those horses are running back in this one today. I would love to see this race run in 1.25 maybe next year. But keep up with those 1.25 races. It's just been a fun, exciting meet. Looking at those races. If I don't look at them for YouTube, I'll look at them. When I'm just sitting lounging around on the couch. But those are exciting races. I just want to get that out there. My top selection here in the Cup Classic, I'm going to go with the number 3 horse King Fury. Let's go 3-10-12-7 in the superfecta. 3-10-12-7 super. Top selection 3 horse King Fury. 4 called by Curlin. Kenneth McPeak trains. Brian Hernandez Jr. gets the mount. Most recently, they ran the horse in the Clark at Churchill, mile 8th on 26th November. And the horse finished 5th by 9 lengths. And he just never got going. Was outclassed by the others. And it just wasn't the horse's day to win. Coming to the Tapeta today, lesser quality horses should get a good trip. I think that's going to suit up for this horse. 2 back in the Fayette at Keelan, about a mile and 1/8 on the slop in October. The horse finished 3rd by 8 1/4 lengths and didn't break that well. A little bit wide throughout. He was gaining a little bit late, but he still needs something. It was an okay race, but he could improve a little bit more. And then before then, the Bourbon Trail at Churchill, mile 3 16th and 25th of September. The horse won by Baker's Dozen, 13 lengths, coming from the backpack, a little bit wide, but when this horse got the turn of foot, it was a very good run. Major improvement off the race floor was just a Travers at Saratoga going 1 1/4, where the horse finished 5th by 9 3/4 lengths there, and he just wasn't keeping up with the better horses in front of him. And then they took him to the turf before then, the Saratoga Derby, where the horse finished 10th by 8.5 lengths, and he just never really showed up and was drawn very, very wide. 11-11 is not ideal, but when he faces the lesser quality horses, he really goes up a lot. He placed earlier in 2021 in the Ohio Derby and actually won to Lexington in the last spring at Keeneland. Coming here today at 4-1, a very likely winner, along with the 10 horse Cross Border. He actually won the Prairie Bayou here in December very, very nicely by 1 3/4 lengths. at a great price of 12-1. Came back to run the Pegasus World Cup turf where he ran an okay fifth, but still needed something there. But come back here with step down class at 7-2. You know, his hidden form could definitely win this race, this old man. So to recap my selection for the 10th from Turfway, it's the Kentucky Cup Classic. Let's take the 3-horse King Fury. Give kudos to the 10-horse Cross Border. 3-10, 12-7 Super. 3-10 in the multi-race. The 11th race from Turfway. It is the Bourbonette Oaks. It's going for a purse $250,000. Race for 3-year-old fillies. We have a field of 12 horses going the distance of ground here of 1,700 meters, or the distance of ground of a mile 16th on the Turfway main track. 1,700 meters, mile 16th here in the Bourbonette Oaks. Top selection here. I'm going to go with the number 12 for Vergara. We'll go 12-7-3-8 in the superfecta, 12-7-3-8 super. Top selection 7-horse Vergara. 3-year-old filly by Noble Mission. Grand Motion trains. Victor Carrasco gets the mount. The horse hasn't been seen since the 28th of November. That came here in New York at Aqueduct. Mile 16th on the inner turf course in the Tenpin Stakes. And the horse went by 3/4 of the length that day. Basically tracked all the way around the racetrack. When this horse got the turn of foot, she quickened up and she got the job done very nicely. Coming here off the bench, gonna have to overcome a wide post job, but she's proven she could do that at times. I think she can really run a good race. Two backs ran 24th of October at Laurel, mile 8th in the main special weight 59,000, winning by 1/4 lengths, breaking from post 10 of 12, which is not ideal, but got over well, quickened up nicely, and got the job done. A very good race for this horse there. Second start, going a mile late, which is very difficult. And then before the 30th of September at Laurel, 5.5 on the law in the main special weight. The horse finished third by length, and, just again, a little bit wide, was gaining late, but it was over a trip this horse really wasn't appreciating. She liked the mile 16th. It looks like she has some forwardly pace to get a good position early on. At 8-1, you have to use this horse. The 7-horse Mrs. Barbara, I think, is your second likeliest winner. First off the bench in the Florida Oaks, the horse finished fourth by 2 3/4 lengths and absolutely need the race. It was a little bit wide, just had a little bit of a trouble trip. She got a better trip on the Tapeta today. The races on the Tapeta up in Canada haven't been half bad for this horse. I definitely use a 5-1, and also the 3-horse here. Tap Dancing Lady, it's been running here this winter, close but no cigar. If there's going to be a horse closing up well, I think it could be her. Definitely using that pick 6. But to recap my selection for the 11th from Turfway, it is the Bourbonette Oaks. We're going to take here the 12-horse Vergara as a top selection. Give kudos to the 7-horse Mrs. Barbara and the 3-horse Tap Dancing Lady. 12-7-3-8 Super. 12-7-3 in the multi-race. The feature 12th race, the nightcap, the meat nightcap from Turfway. It is the Jeff Ruby Stakes. It's a grade 3 event going for a purse $600,000. Race for 3-year-olds here. We have a field of 13 horses. A baker's dozen entered, but only 12 could go to the Tapeta. The distance of ground here of 1,800 meters, or the distance of ground of a mile and 1/8 here in the Jeff Ruby Stakes. 1,800 meters, a mile and 1/8 here in the Jeff Ruby. Formerly known as the Spiral, formerly known as the Lane's End, formerly known as the Gallery Furniture Stakes. This race has had many sponsors and many names over the years. I always remember it as the Lane's End, but my top selection here, I'm going to go with the 1-horse Royal Spirit. We'll go 1-8-7-5 in the superfecta, 1-8-7-5 super. Top selection 1-horse Royal Spirit. 3-year-old colt by Into the Mischief. Top Fletcher trains. Chris Landeros gets mount. The horse's most recent outing came the 5th of February at Gulfstream, about a mile 16th in the grade 3 Kitten's Joy, and the horse finished second by a neck. Just kind of stalked all around the race course, had the lead for a split portion, but then got caught late. What can you do? Ran her hard out, but she just needs something late. Coming here second off the bench, a little bit of a longer trip with a better post draw. I think this horse could really improve. Two back, the horse ran the 2nd of January at Gulfstream, about 7.5 furlongs in main special weight, winning by 1/4 lengths that day. This horse basically stalked all the way around the racetrack, a little bit wide, but when this horse got the button, they took off clear. A very good race. Actually was facing stakes quality horses before this horse broke the main. Before then, the wide at Belmont going a mile 16th in November. The horse finished 4th by 3 lengths. A little bit wide, but just couldn't get there late because of the wide trip. And then before that, a Monmouth, and then now. The horse finished second by 2 1/4 lengths. Had a horrible beginning that day, but was really closing up well. I thought maybe with the benefit of a whip that day, the horse probably would have possibly would have won. And then the debut at Saratoga going mile 16 late August. The horse finished third by 1/4 lengths, and again, just couldn't get there late, but still ran decently. Hasn't run half bad at all. Coming to the Tapeta at 10-1, a very likely winner. The 8-horse Red Run is your second likeliest winner. Most recently won Texas Turf Mile at Sam Houston, going a mile in January very nicely by half length, closing up from nowhere. And some of the races before that, like the race at Kentucky Downs, if that horse runs that race today, could definitely win. I think the horse really should like the Tapeta at 6-1. It is another very likely winner. And the 7-horse Tis the Bomb, they tried the horse on the dirt too back in the Holy Bowl, where the horse just wasn't excelling. But coming back to the Tapeta last time out in the Battaglia Memorial, the horse won by that could really put on a show. Placed in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile before that, won the Bourbon before that at Keeneland. Very nice run, very nice spread horse. It wouldn't surprise me at 2-1 if this horse wins it either. We'll definitely use in the pick 6, but to recount my selection for the 12th from Turfway, it's the Jeff Ruby Stakes. We're going to take the 1-horse Royal Spirit as a top selection, give kudos to the 8-horse Red Run and the 7-horse Tis the Bomb. 1875 Super, 187 in your multi-race. So good luck to all. Please follow me on Twitter at HorseRacingKid5. Good luck, everybody.